you to pay attention. I need you to get out a piece of paper. All right, because I want everybody in here to be able to tell me what these answers are. All right, if you are good with numbers, I appreciate it. It's my fault.
I do on the same.
Yeah, do it right on the same. I appreciate the way you did it and how hard you worked. Okay, so first and foremost, 75% of 16. Who can tell me what 75% of 16 is?
75 is 12.
12. What do you think?
Oh,
How did you get it?
well, because 75% was changed into the fraction, which is 3/4.
That's right.
And then you have 3/4 and you have 16, and you can either do 3 times 16, or you can do 4 divided by 16. And that's 4 times 3 is 12.
That's what everybody's supposed to know. All right, and everybody look up. I mean this now. Hey, I'm not sure what you're doing on your iPad. Nothing. You're right, nothing. Close your iPad. It's right here. I need your attention. Today is super important for me. All right, I want to see how good you are with numbers. Anybody have any questions with that being 12? Everybody should be able to look at that and say that's just 12. Everybody good? Just like we should. Okay, we'll talk about 25% of 32. James, explain.
It's 8 because 25 reduces to 1/4, and 8 over 32 equals 1.
Or 32 divided by 4 equals 8. All right, is everybody with me? 25% is the same as 1/4. 1/4 means divided by 4. So 32 divided by 4 is what? 8. That's it. Perfect. All right, please, and I mean it, if you're not sure, speak up. I don't want to waste time. All right, I don't want to waste any time. All right, so now, here we go. So let's look at number 3. Okay, now this is the one. 10% is important also. 10% of 37. Who can tell me what 10% of 37 is? Do you know?
7? Wait, no.
Tell me. Of course, 3.7. All right, 3.7. And why is it 3.7? Can you tell us?
Because if you divide 3 by 10, it's 3, and then it's 7. You can't divide it.
Right, but what I really want everybody to say is 10%, what do I do?
You move the decimal to the
Right. Yeah, you just move the decimal to the left one spot. All right? 10%, move the decimal. If I said 1%, you would move it how many places? 2. That's right, because 1% is the same as what fraction?
100.
1 over 100. So we're dividing by 100 with 1%. 10% is the same as what fraction? 1. That's right, 10 over 100, which reduces to 1/10. And 1/10 means divide by 10. And divide by 10 means move the decimal to the left one spot. You have to know all these rules, guys. You have to know it. You should be experts at this. All right, so let's take a look now at number 4. 10% of 115. Now you can tell me.
1.5.
No.
11.
Yeah, 11.5. Remember, you're only moving at one spot, not 2. All right? The decimal on 115 is right here, correct? At the end.
Oh, I
So you move
thought
it
it was
one.
in front. Yeah. Like it was.
No, we're good. What?
Right, oh.
All right, is everybody okay with 10%? Move the decimal one place to the left. How do I know I'm moving it one place to the left? Because when you divide, you're getting what? Smaller, not bigger. All right, dividing by 10, you're getting smaller, not bigger. All right, so now if you were paying attention, everybody should be able to quickly do 1%. 1%, what is it? 0.72. Because 1% is the same as dividing by 100, so you move the decimal 2 places to the left. All right, so now 1% of 231. Yes, 2.31. Everybody write that down. All right, make sure these are simple. You have to know the rules. What?
Can I just write that down?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Write the answers down. All right, now some people have a little trouble with this. 80% of 200. Why don't you explain to me what to do?
Okay, well now I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Come on, give it a shot. It doesn't matter.
Well, I just didn't divide it by 5. Because
That's okay. That's all right. Let me hear you. Why?
well, 20 times 5 would be 100. So the double 20, 40 times 5 would be 200. 4/5 equals 8%.
Okay, that's exactly what he's saying. Does everybody see that? He just said 80% is 4/5. So if I take 200 and I divide it by 5 and get 40, and then 40 times 4 is 160. Oh, that's good. You should be able to know that. All right. Another way is what? I want to hear.
Oh, I don't know. I'm at the rest of this. I just can set up proportions.
No. I don't, you're not setting up proportions. You're not. This is all mental math. Everybody has to be able to look at that and say that's the answer. There's no work involved. There's no calculator. There's nothing. When you get out in public and someone says approximate, you want to know if it's true or not. All right. So you have to be able to manipulate numbers well. All right. So tell me, what's the matter?
Can you help me understand that?
What is 80% as a fraction?
8 1/5. I mean 4/5.
4/5. So now, what's 200 divided by 5?
50. I mean now.
Right. Listen to me. Don't be sorry. Everybody.
Oh, 40.
40. Today we're just practicing mental math. Some of you are good. Some of you aren't as good. That's why we're practicing. Practice your mental math. We've been using calculators a lot. Now I want to see if you are actually understanding what you're putting into your calculator. So did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 40. All right. Now you have to multiply that by 4. So 4 times 4.
160.
There you go. 160. Tell me.
What I do, I just do 80% of 100 is 80, and I times that by 2.
That's another good way. All right. I'll tell you how I like to do it. What?
Did you do it like 4/5 times 200?
That's what we just did. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. All right. Personally, I like to say 10%. 10% of 200 is what? 20. Right? So 20% would be what? 20% would be 40. Does everybody agree with that? So if I take 200 minus 40, that's going to give me the 80%. Does everybody see that? I like to do 10%. I could also do 10% and then multiply it by what? 8. So if I take 10% of 200, that's 20. And then 20 times 8, 160. So everybody agree with that? There's lots of ways. You just have to decide how you want your brain to work and then stick with it and just do the problems that way. All right? Does it always convert down to easy fractions? No. All right, it does not. That's when we're going to get more into the estimation. All right, so now this is the one that a lot of people have trouble with. That's funny to me. Harrison, what do you think? What's 33 1/3% of 15?
It's about 1.
What do you think? What do you think? 1. What do you think?
5.
What do you think? 5. Anybody else? Tell us why it's 5.
Because 33% is 1/3 of 100.
That's right, guys. 33 1/3% is 1/3. You have to know that. And 1/3 means divided by 3. What's 15 divided by 3? 5. That's excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Does everybody see that now? Just like if I said 66 2/3%, you should know 66 2/3 is the same as what fraction? 2/3. Yes.
Can you just do 1/3?
Yeah, 33 1/3% is 1/3. Yes.
How do you know that 33 1/3 is 1?
Because I'm smart. I'm just kidding. No, because that's a fact we've learned. All right. Now, do you remember, just like 10% is 1/10, right? If I did 33 1/3 divided by 100, I would get 1/3. You with me on this? So I'm telling kids that's just a fact you should know. That makes your life easier. You with me? So you have to know those things. All right? You have to know 33 1/3% is 1/3. And then 15 divided by 3 is what? 5. You have to know that. All right. If you're not sure about that, you should look at 33 1/3 over 100 and see that that would reduce down to 1/3. You don't want to have to keep doing that. All right. Now, of course, not many people would be able to tell me this one. What's that?
Oh, you want to see the answer?
Yeah.
I got 24.
How'd you do that?
I did it in my head.
So what did you do? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I did 62 and a half times 40 divided by 100.
How did you do that? What's 62.5 times 40?
2,500. And divided by 100, which makes it 25.
Very, very, very good.
I got 25.
Very good. How did you get that?
I like simpled it down, like 62 and a half. I simpled it down by 100. And then I just divided 0.625 times 40.
Yeah, that's okay. I kind of see what you're doing. I would want everybody in here to know 62.5% is the same as what fraction? 5/8. Very good. Thank you. Very smart. 62.5% is the same as 5/8. Right? Because we've done that a lot. I've told you over and over. 1/8 is 12.5%. 3/8 is 37.5%. 5/8 is 62.5%. 7/8 is 87.5%. It's kind of weird. But if you know those over and over, we do it so much that that's what's supposed to be in your brain. All right, if we just use a calculator all the time, it's not going to be in your brain. All right, that's why we're practicing today. Does everybody agree with that now? Does everybody understand that? Those are just little things I'd want you to know. If you don't know that, you have to be good at multiplication. That's very, very good. And some of you, like I said, are good with multiplication. What?
So how do you know that 62 and a half is 5/8?
Because, again, at the beginning of the year, we did 1/8 is 0.125. We said 3/8 was 0.375. We said 5/8 was 0.625. And if I move that over, that's the same as 62.5%. You with me on that? Do I think you should know that right now? No, I don't. Just like this is 0.875, which is 87.5%. I'm just saying I want you to know those. You with me? That's what I want. If you didn't know that, you would just do 7 divided by 8. Or you'd have to do on your paper 0.625 times 40. And 625 times 40, that's very good for some of you who did that in your head. All right? That's not easy. Everybody see that? Harrison, what?
I multiplied 62 and a half and 40. I got 2,500.
No. 2,500. That was your mistake. Try it again. All right? Yes. Tell me, Michaela.
Then how do you get 25 after that?
Because 40 divided by 8 is what? 5. And then 5 times. Yes. Right, so listen once again, guys. Keep listening. Keep listening. Keep listening. This is really helping you with your mental math. I'm telling you, everyone should know when I say the fraction, that just means what? Divided by what? 8. It's always easier to do the division first, then you do the what? Then you do the multiplication. All right, if you did 40 times 5 and then divided by 8, dividing by 8 is not that hard. Dividing by 8 is dividing by 2 3 times. So if we did 200 divided by 2, that would be 100 divided by 2 is 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25. That's a nice way to divide by 8. Just like dividing by 4 is dividing by 2 twice. All right? And same thing, sometimes we'll have problems where we divide by 16. I hated long division, so I figured everything out so I could avoid long division to make it easier. All right? Okay, so now we're going to talk about estimating. Estimating is a little bit different than, mental math. All right? Because we're just approximating. Now, I would believe everybody in here should be able to just tell me what 11% of 70 is. All right? What would that be?
Wait, sorry.
What is it?
Try 7. No.
7 point what?
7.7.
Yeah, 7.7.
Oh, that makes
It's
sense.
just 7 times 11. But then you have to move the decimal twice. Do I agree with that? So I'm not even estimating that. I'm saying we should all say that that's just 7.7. Does everybody agree with that? But that's the exact answer. Now what they want you to do is just say 11% is close to what? 10%. So 10% of 70 would be what? 7. Look how close we are. 7 to 7.7. That's the whole point of today. The whole point.
So like for 12, would you do 55 of 20?
Nope.
Or 50?
Of course I would not. I would just say 53% of 20 is about what, somebody? Tell me. You can do this. Tell me. If I said about 53% of 20, 53% is close to what percent? Even better. Nope, go the other. Right. Why would we do 50%? Yeah, because we know 50% is what? 50% is what?
10.
Half. Right? That's the whole point, right? 10 would be the answer, yes. All right? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to make this easy for yourself. Does everybody agree with that? So 53% is close to what? 50. So half of 20 is what? So everybody would put down roughly 10.
Wait, is the answer like 10.6?
I don't. I'm totally agreeing with you.
Oh,
But
God.
what is the directions? We're estimating. We're estimating. All right. Be approximately. Yeah, I should have done that. Squiggly lines.
That's right.
Approximately 10. Okay, so now I would want you to be able to do 40% of 19. 40% of 19 would be.
Wait,
I want to rewrite it first. I want to use better numbers. What would it-
40% of 20?
Yeah, this is what we should be doing. We should be doing 40%. You don't have to write that down. All right? I'm just trying to show you, make sure you know what you're doing. 40% of 20. So 10% is what? 2. So 40% would be 8. Everybody with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Right? So if you want to write something down, it would be 10% is equal to 2. So 40% would equal 8. That's right. Everybody happy with that explanation?
Can you not do 4 times 2? Is that like not?
Yeah, 4 times 2 is 8.
Like 40 or 20, 20, 0.
Yeah, but again, you have to just be careful doing that. That's all. Some of you guys got it figured out. I think it's always better to do 10%. All right? What? Well, that's okay. I don't care. All right? Here we go. On 14. Go. All right, 87% is close to what? 90, right? So we want 90% of what? I would say 90% of 40. What's 10%?
Oh, 9. No, wait, 4.
10% would be what? 4. So 90% would be
36.
36. Is everybody okay with that? All right. I don't care if you did 4 times 9 or if you did 40 minus 4. All right. Everybody okay with that? Everybody good? All right. Come on. Let's see if you're getting better. Uh-oh. So what do you think that is?
So, a third of 600.
Yeah. So what we want is we want 1/3% of 600. So somebody, what is it?
200.
What do you think it is?
So first you could do 1%, 600, and then when you do that, you get
1% is how many places do you move the decimal?
so you get 6, and then 1/3
Of
6 is 2.
Yay, that is absolutely brilliant. Very, very good. The answer was 2. All right, the answer was 2. All right. What do you mean how? What does 1% equal?
6.
Right? So we want 1/3 of 1%. So what's 1/3 of 6? Now you're with me, right? Yeah, that's a tricky one, guys. I'm making sure you understand. That's what I'm saying. Raise your hand if you're not sure. I want to explain it to you. All right? What?
No, I did one.
I'm listening.
I did 1/3 equals 1, and I did 5.98.
You see what I did, right? I like my way better. All right? Because again, it's just 1/3 of 1%. That's how you should be thinking about it. All right? So let's take a look at 16. Uh-oh. 110%. What are you thinking?
We could do it.
That's right. We could change 39 to 40.
And then
What's So what's 10% of 40?
4, and then 5,
But what's 100%?
100%.
So what would be 100% of 40?
30
That's right. And 10% is equal to what?
is equal to what?
So what's 110%?
440.
44.
44.
True? Right? Because again, come on, I really want you to be good at this. 100% is just the number, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we take 10%, we just do what? Add it. 100% plus 10% is 110%. 40 plus 4 is 44. What?
Oh, no, I just got something.
All right, here we go. Let's take a look now at 20. All right, last basketball season, Carlos made 38% of the baskets he attempted. At this rate, about how many baskets will he make if he attempted 30 baskets? So 38% is roughly what?
40.
Yeah, so we're going to do 40%. So we're going to do 40% of 30.
12.
Yeah, is everybody okay with that being 12? I just think it's easier to say 10% is 3 times 4. Right? Is everybody okay with that being 12 now? Come on, these are important. Yes.
Can you explain it to me one more time, please?
What I did was I always was able to find 10% easily, right?
Right.
So what's 10% of 30?
3.
But I want 40%. You with me? So 40% has to equal 12. Come on now. 10, 20, 30, 40, right? You're just counting 10 percentage.
How do you get 12?
What's 4 times 3?
12.
10%. Do you agree 40% is 4 times 10%?
Yes.
So then I just did 4 times 3,
Oh.
right? So if I said this, if I said, let's say, I want to know 60% of 20.
3. 30.
What's 10%?
6.
No, what's 10% of 20?
Oh, 2.
2. So 10% equals 2. So what would 60% equal?
60% of 12. So do you just like
What did I multiply 10 by?
5,
5 times 10 is 60.
6?
Yeah, you multiply by 6, right?
Oh yeah, 12.
That's the answer.
So you just multiply?
I mean, some of you guys ask me these questions, and it's just, I just am not multiplying. I'm figuring out what 40% of 30 is.
Okay.
Anytime you want to figure out a percentage, like a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you can always find 10% and then multiply it by what you want.
Okay.
All right, what?
I'm just so really confused about 15. Because isn't
What?
6 on 15? This isn't 600 divided by 200. I know we're not dividing, but isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I'm
Or
just,
do you agree with me that we're less than 1%?
isn't 1/3 is
So which one's bigger, 1% or 1/3 of 8%? Right. So we took 1% and then we divided it by 3. You see what I'm saying or not?
Yeah.
You sure? I can find out quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, what your mistake is if I said 1/3 of 600, you would be correct. Right? But I'm not doing a third. I'm doing a third of what? 1%.
Oh.
You with me now, right? That's what I'm saying, girl. Speak up. Come on. All right? A third of a percent is less than 1%. So we just take 1% and we divide it by what? 3. Just like I said, what's 1/5 of a percent? You take 1% and then do what? Divide it by 5. Everybody see what I'm getting at, right? So you have to understand that 1/3 of a percent, 1/3 of a percent is less than 1%. Right? Okay, so let's look at 21. All right, so she bought a package of seeds to grow flowers. There are 72 seeds in the package. Approximately 60% of the seeds will germinate. About how many seeds will approximately germinate? So 72 is close to what? 70. So 10% is what? 7. So 60% would be about 42. This is the things that you have to be good at, in my opinion. All right? Does everyone understand that? That's how you be good with numbers. You have to understand how to manipulate them. You good with that? You sure? Got it now?
Yes.
All right, what?
Isn't it for like that? Like you have 70 and 60%. You can just like, since you know like it's out of 100, you can just do 7 times 6 because you're taking away the 2 zeros.
Well, I don't. However you want to think about it. All right, however you want to think about it. I came up with 42. If you're around 42, I'm good. There's lots of ways to talk about it. Lots. With this one?
Yeah.
So we want to round 72 to what number?
7.
Yeah. So we just need 60% of 70. You agree with that? So what's 10%?
7.
Correct? Now you just multiply by 6. All right? So now your job, head your paper. 1 through 46. But there we go. All right? So get busy on those. All right, let's see if you can do it.